Y'all hear it. Y'all hear the music. You know what time it is. I mean, it's Sunday. It's 2 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? It's not a major holiday. You know what I'm saying? So you know I'm here doing the show. Yo, what's up? It's Soda Great, y'all. It's high off the glass. You know what I'm saying? We here. We doing it. I am blessed today, y'all. I have another ridiculously talented guest. And this person is actually heavy off into the world of cannabis and education. I call this sister a cannabis scholar. You know what I'm saying? I would like everybody to give it up for Miss Rene Canady. Say it one more time.
Canady.
There, Rene Canady. There you go. I practiced it with her ahead of time. And still wasn't confident with it. Do y'all believe that? But yeah, that's how that was. How are you, sister? Thank you for joining me.
Of course. Thank you for having me, yo. It's a good Sunday. I'm happy to be here.
I am happy to have you here with me. I'm blessed to have you here. Miss Rene, you are very smart. You are very smart, first off, and you are heavy off into cannabis. Those two things usually don't match. But just to give the people a rundown real quick, the sister is a biomedical engineer, socialist, equity consultant, pop culture educator, and host of Joint Hypothesis with friend of the show, my friend, y'all friend, Miss Nadia Jackson Fitch. Like, dang. Like, has it always been like this for you, Miss Rene? Like, what so many jobs, so little time. Like, what's the deal?
Right.
What's the deal?
So, first off, a dog just walked up here, and this dog's adorable. So, if y'all see me looking under the table.
No doubt. Thank God you like dogs.
Oh, yeah. This is a chill one. It's a chill one.
That's what's up.
So, it's been... I got into STEM careers, into science.
What's up, buddy?
Math and technology just because honestly in high school I knew that I needed to get out of the environment that I was in.
Okay.
So it first came to, okay, I want to get the bag. I know I'm good at this stuff. I like it. And then it became an entire passion because I've always been passionate about people, which is why I kind of went into sociology.
Right.
And then cannabis just kind of came through with it as I kept doing more work with like the community and thinking about holistic health and even taking care of myself. So everything kind of fits together in this weird way.
I see. It's a lot going on with you, and I can't wait to explore it. Now I want to take it back, Miss Rene. Where are you from?
I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pittsburgh, PA. Okay, shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? We got to give a shout out to PA. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Pittsburgh. I was down there January, what was it, last week of December. I had to drive. I got caught in that Southwest Airlines crap.
Oh.
And I had to get back East Coast where I'm from, so I had to straight drive and stayed in Washington, PA, which is like 30 minutes from y'all. Yeah, so I tell you one thing. This is one thing that people forget. You go through different parts of this country, you really see how status quo and the government and the price of living are pricing people out. Like, these people, there's a lot of folks out there barely getting by. Like, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But all right, so you born and raised there. How was the upbringing? How was childhood?
It was I had a bit of an interesting childhood. So I lost my mom at age 12, and me and my brother went to go live with my grandparents. I was raised by my grandparents on my mom's side, and then on my dad's side, my grandma also was helping raise me.
Yeah.
So I had a very interesting childhood because on my mom's side, my grandma was a preacher.
Right.
And then on my dad's side, my grandma had owned a big jazz club and bars, and they were in it deep in terms of like
both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yep.
This is crazy. What made you? Was it so you were raised by your grandparents? Did you have siblings?
Yeah, I have two older brothers. The one's 8 years older, and he has a partner and some lovely children.
Okay.
And then I have a middle brother who's also a little bit older, but because of our relationship, like he has autism, so the way that like our relationship is, it's not like a traditional older sibling, younger sibling dynamic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still cool with both of my brothers.
That's
and I
good.
love them very much. Yeah.
Good. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
Are they still? You have family here now, or are they still back there?
So I don't have family in St. Louis actually.
Okay.
Which surprises a lot of people because you know I
Right.
get around the city and I like to know everybody and be
Right.
in, in the neighborhoods and stuff. But
Right.
everyone's back at home in Pittsburgh.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Now let me ask you this: how was school for you? Coming up back then, and where? Yeah. How was school?
So I went to University of Pittsburgh.
No.
Like
How
you
was
talking
how was
about
elementary?
elementary school?
How was
we're
middle
going
school?
back,
Yeah,
y'all. Okay.
yeah, for real.
Okay. So school was honestly school was my escape. There was a lot going on at home sometimes. So and I knew that I could do well there. So growing up, school was like I'd spend as much time as I could on the projects, on homework. I like to think, I'd like to create. I loved all sorts of creative projects. And before my mom had passed, she was extremely involved as a parent in terms of like elementary school and all the activities we did. So I think she cultivated that passion for me. So like I thought I was going to be a teacher in 3rd grade, which I guess technically I am a teacher, but
Wow.
yeah.
In 3rd grade?
I loved school.
Okay.
I've always loved school.
Right on.
I still love school.
There you go. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. We got to give it up for school. Sometimes school gets a bad rap because for some folks it sucks. But for those of you that love education, yes. Heck yeah. Pull that mic a little closer to you.
Okay.
All right on.
Let's see.
Yeah, there you go. That'll work. So, and if you want, you can lift your seat up if you want.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
little
Yeah,
bar
I'm
right on
feeling
the
a little
side.
short
yeah,
here.
it's up to
I'm
you.
only 5'6". Where's the little ramp at?
Yeah, matter of fact, I'll help you out.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll do it right in the middle of the show.
Yeah,
We're gonna
this
take
is
a pause, everybody, because we got to make sure.
live recording.
Yep. Stuff is live, but there you go. How about that? There you go.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
To feel comfortable here. Right. That's why he has comfortable chairs. We have great chairs here at My City, My Music. Look at you. You look like you're ready to go now.
Yep. Sitting there crooning my neck earlier.
Yeah, no doubt. So, okay, so you felt like a teacher at 3rd grade. So you basically coasted through school?
In a way, yes. I think it was like school was the way I knew I was going to build a life for myself that was different than the one set up for me. So, my mom passed. I went to live with my grandparents. I then went to a really bad school. The school I was in before wasn't necessarily like top tier. It was still regular public school, but they had some people there with some money. But then when I moved in with my grandparents, it was like the school system was so bad that they didn't have a high enough math class, and I'd help teach the math class.
And what grade?
6th.
Are you, wait.
Yes, I was.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Talk about this, huh?
I mean, like
What do you mean?
When you said that a lot of people don't like school, it's for a very valid reason. It's
Yeah.
for a very valid reason.
Yeah,
So, they didn't have high enough math classes because they didn't have enough people who were interested. So I had to retake the same math class after getting a 98 the first time. Yes.
But that doesn't make any sense. People that are interested, you're in grade school. You have to go the higher grade, the tougher the math is. That's how it works.
Yes, but then, once you get into like middle school, they have you like picking your classes and things like that. They have different tracks set up for people. And the highest that they thought that people could achieve at this one school was clearly not acceptable for me. So there weren't very many options, and I was just dealing with a lot, losing my mom. So it wasn't like I was going to tell my family, I need to be like moved to another school and put in a math class.
Yeah.
Like I'm just sitting here 12-year-old grieving. So I just kind of made do, but it was like, I mean, yes, it wasn't necessarily like the typical like it wasn't like a private school or like I was getting enriched in a ton of ways, but every opportunity that existed, every project, every special club, I did every club, did soccer. I even did like track for a semester. So I did every activity possible because I
Right.
just knew that school was good for me.
Okay.
But yeah, they didn't give me a lot, so I had to take exactly what they were gonna give.
What the hell is Pennsylvania? I guess so. Their school system, their education system must be like
Yeah,
lower thirds of the country.
I don't really know. It could
Yeah.
it might be. I mean, that high school was certainly at the bottom of like terms of their performance or whatever.
Right.
But I still have no regrets about where I went to school because I think it taught me so much about life. It was pretty diverse in terms of like it was like I think like 60% white, 40% black, and then there were people of other backgrounds. So not extremely diverse, but just like I learned a lot about how to interact with people.
Right.
There were a lot of people who didn't have anything, and I didn't have a lot at home, but because I had food, clothing, shelter, utilities, a family who, once I was a teenager, they were able to like pay for me to do sports. So I felt like I had the world, and I was very like grateful for all of those things. So it also just made me like just going to that school just made me very like cognizant of this is how the world works, and this is like I could never be sheltered because I didn't have the opportunity to be sheltered. So I think it just taught me a lot more about the realities of life than like you sit in class and they teach you that this is a certain way and you make money this way and this happens, and I just could see what I could learn a lot, not even being in class, just from being at school.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, sis. Okay, that sounds deep. Okay, so, we gotta, yeah. We gotta that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? We with that, and that makes all the sense in the world, and we definitely support that. What about for you? Back in school, and you said, but the one thing I'm hung up on. You said it was sixth grade. You had to do that. So high school, was it the same deal? Like not challenging enough?
So by the time I got to high school, I wasn't necessarily being challenged a ton in the classroom. There were things for gifted kids, which I think is unfortunate to like say that there's a certain group of kids who are smart and considered to be worthy of success, and then you just forget about everyone else. I don't think that's right. But that's like sort of the programming that I did. So they had different opportunities to go and like talk to students at other schools. So I was able to see what was happening over there. But largely, there's a lot of opportunities that like I didn't really have. And I kind of got lucky even like figuring out that I wanted to be a biomedical engineer because they had one trip, and they had a trip for science club, and they didn't have science club until my 11th grade. And it was to see an open heart surgery. And I was like, they're letting the kids at the school go see this, the gifted kids. Like, this is cool. So I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
And then they told us to leave in the middle of the surgery
Why?
because it wasn't going so well.
Oh.
So I was like thinking, like at the beginning of the surgery, like, okay, who's the highest paid person in the room?
Right.
That's what I'm going to do. I like what's happening. I like the setup. This is cool. They're helping people. They're saving lives. Like, I'm going to do this medical stuff. And then when we left, I was like, I cannot be responsible for somebody dying on my hands. So I Googled who makes the surgeon's tools. And that's how I found out what biomedical engineering was. Yeah.
Wow, by Googling who made the surgeon's tools.
Who makes the surgeon's tools?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't like the STEM camps, and a lot of people get those.
Shout out to Google. Shit. For real, y'all, because it be random stuff like that, y'all, and it's random one little thing she could have chose. Miss Rene could have chose not to do that. And would have been on a totally different path right now. But she did that because she was interested, because that school sounds better than you make it seem, because they took you to a damn whole surgery.
It was very surprising. It
Wow.
Was, out of character.
Okay, okay. So that sparks it. Right. That sparks an interest for you for being a biomedical engineer. So, and what does that entail entirely?
So basically, biomedical engineering is a very big, like, vague discipline, but it's anything that's related to engineering and health in the body. So if you create a device, for example, which is actually my like specialty, is creating different products and devices that might help people who are sick, people who have different disabilities, may just help people get around. Like I worked on a device in this laboratory called Fingersight, and it was a device for people with eye problems, so like the blind and people who can't see very well. And basically we had it so that you had a little camera attached to a ring on your finger, and I designed the ring so that and there would also be like buzzers that would vibrate on different parts of your fingers, and the buzzers would vibrate based off of what the camera saw to navigate you to different places. So for example, if the right side of your finger buzzed, you would go right, and then if the left side, okay, you go left because you realize you went too far right. And I helped create this device, which was really cool, and they're still working on it in the lab, I'm sure, but
what?
Yeah.
Damn.
Shit.
Hold on. No, that's not good. Hold on. Yeah, we'll go back to this one. Sister, that's amazing. You helped design that?
Yeah. I helped design using 3D printing and creating a material like a band that would fit the camera, that would fit the wires, that would hide them. I was thinking about how it would fit on people's wrists or people's fingers and things like that. And I also helped design experiments, and we had, like this like giant tracker in the lab that helped people like find stuff. So I fixed like this big tracker so we could find stuff. Like I was doing all sorts of cool things on that project.
And this is just all like tools to use for internal medicine.
This would be a tool, actually something you use at home.
What?
So yeah, you can't see in the morning, but you want to go and your phone's on the counter. If you might remember where you put your phone down last night, but let's say someone comes and moves your phone 3 inches to the right. If you can't see, wouldn't it be nice if you had something that, was like attached to your hand that you could slip on and grab it? Just thinking about really accessibility and things like that, I feel like is super important to me. But the man who like really started this all and like created this, Dr. George Stetton, is just such an amazing scientist, and he was such a good mentor to me that like, yeah, you do a project like that, you're not gonna like not be passionate about bioengineering. So
Dr. George, we love you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dr. George Stanton.
Cool
Wow,
guy.
man.
He's a cool guy.
We gotta give it up to him. Gotta give it. So he's the one that first?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's invented a bunch of really cool things. I mean, he made this egg. It looks like an egg, but it's really a thermometer, so that this species of bird that was going extinct would like be able to like, they would like go and they would lay on the egg, and then they get their temperature, and they'd be able to take measurements and stuff like that, and it helped save the species of bird from going extinct.
All from an egg.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's dope.
From
that's a thermometer egg. That's amazing. So did you start? I guess you started working with him while you were at when you went to college.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's backtrack because you're jumping ahead. This is awesome.
Excuse me.
No, you're good. You're good. You have like I said, your story is
Thank you.
very interesting and super unique. All right, so high schools, you're in PA. What made you go to WashU? Because I know you probably had a plethora of offers. What was the deal?
So I went to WashU for grad school, but in undergrad I went to Pitt, University of Pittsburgh.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't really know a lot about college and college offers because, there weren't a lot of people around me. Like, people were working in the steel mill and being able to put their 30 years in, come out with their pension. Like, they lived in a time where that worked for them, but obviously that wasn't going to work for me because nowadays we're never going to retire, y'all.
No, God, don't say that.
No, you know what? I'm
Don't say
crossing
that.
our fingers because we're going to design a better future.
Right.
But,
For real.
I knew I was interested in school, but there wasn't a lot of, like, support. So I found this program with the help of my guidance counselor that was supposed to help kids who had really rough backgrounds get into elite places. And I, like, made it to, like, the second round of the program, and then I'm pretty sure none of the places actually accepted me. Yeah.
Okay. Who ran this program? What was this?
It's called QuestBridge, and it was a program that was designed for, like, low income or like people who had like immigrant families. Like, people just had like tough backgrounds but were very smart and wanted to go to like Ivy League schools. So I tried my best. That didn't work out. There were a few other schools I got into.
Was it a local program or national?
It was national. I mean, they're sending people to Yale, to Harvard, to Rice, to I'm pretty sure WashU was even on the list.
Probably
and
so.
They actually didn't accept me, which is really interesting in undergrad.
That's another caveat. That's crazy.
And I think it's important to talk about rejection for sure.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. Okay.
But some of the schools that did accept me were Pitt and Georgia Tech. And I was excited about Georgia Tech because I wanted to leave Pittsburgh so bad.
School for engineering, you know what I'm saying?
That
like
too.
That's what they known for.
That too.
Like,
and I was
tech.
like, I'm gonna go down south, get in touch with my roots, Like I was like, this is it. And we went down there and they gave me an offer letter and I was like, I guess I'll do it. And then Pitt gave me an offer letter and my guidance counselor did the math and she was like, girl, you're gonna have to pay like $10 for the next year if you go there. Like full ride.
Damn.
So I was very, very, very upset at the time. And I was like, well, I have to go here because it's being paid for, but I did not want to be close. I wanted to start anew.
Right.
But I loved Pitt. I made some great friends, great experiences. So I have no regrets. And being debt free is phenomenal. So
God, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you graduated from Pitt with a
degree in biomedical engineering.
Okay.
And then also a minor in French, which I don't use too often.
Yeah, okay.
But
Why French?
From time, cause I took French in like high school, cause they usually have French and Spanish that people can choose between, and I just figured I needed to do something. So yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't do, Spanish.
Right.
Most of the world speaks that.
Yeah, no. A lot more people speak Spanish in the country, but I think at the time I thought French in my head was more rigorous. Yeah. So I was always trying to be pushed because the French teacher was pretty solid at that school, but the Spanish teachers were changing every year. So it was also like, wherever I can get educated, I'm going to get educated.
Right.
So I knew if I could learn that there, that was like something I could learn well.
That's what's up. All right. So you left there with a major in biomedical engineering and a minor in French. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. So where do you go from there?
So then I knew I wanted to go to grad school because I liked college so much. I liked the classes, I liked the clubs, I liked the learning, and I loved the research. So I realized that like I wanted to more so understand why things were the way they were, because like I said, I was making biomedical products and devices in lab, which was really cool. I was learning a lot, but then my family was very sick, which is also kind of what got me interested in health. And my grandma was in the same hospital that I was designing another device for as part of a senior design project. And it was like just something to help a surgeon. And it was crazy because I would go visit her on the floor below her and she would get substandard care. The way that like my family would have to basically bully the doctors into treating her right. Like it was really a thing.
We have to do that sometimes as black folks.
Yeah. So I was like, well, why?
Doctors don't want to treat us properly.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was like, wait a minute, we don't learn about this in school. I'm making devices that are going to be sold to people who have a lot of money, even if they're sick people with money, not sick poor people.
Right.
So I'm like, who am I really helping with this major? Why am I designing these things if it's not going to help black people? So I was like, I want to study how black people don't benefit from this stuff and how they could benefit from biomedical engineering and how we could change that. So that's what led me to sociology, because they had different people with like the backgrounds who were like, yeah, we'll like help you study all this stuff. Like, we don't care that you're not, you're not into social science and humanities, like, because sociology and so like that's like very, very different from like hard science and being in the lab.
Right.
Like it's like how people think and how people act.
Totally different.
Yeah. But they took a chance on me.
And who is they then that let you be this free?
They was WashU in a sociology program.
Okay.
And there were quite a few other programs I was interested in too. Well, there's about 5. And I got into a couple of them. Okay. But WashU, once again, offered the best stipend. So I was like, I'm going where the money goes and everything else. But
Wow.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah, ended up there. I thought it'd be a good opportunity to do research. I loved, the idea of being in a black city.
Right.
So,
right.
and I do love St. Louis, so I really don't
Right.
have any regrets about moving down here.
Right on. Shout out to WashU.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know what? And we got to give WashU props. But what is it? And we're so glad that you chose us as opposed to any other program that you were going to go to. Kudos to them for giving you that stipend. But what is the issue now? Because from talking to you and Nadia when we first met at Cola Lounge, major shout out to our boy Brennan England. You know what I'm saying? We love him. Cannabis superhero here in St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? I listened to the pod you did with him in One Bad. You know what I'm saying?
Nice,
wow.
nice.
Who knew that? Who knew that back in the day there was more cannabis lounges in New York City than there are Starbucks in the state right now? Like, that's crazy.
We've always been chiefing as a country.
Goodness, who would have known that? You know what I'm saying? But that's legit.
Yep.
But that was a great episode y'all did. But when we were down there, I remember you saying, and I talked to Nadia about this, like you all are getting frustrated.
Oh yeah.
With WashU.
Yeah.
Because like what?
So ironically, in a program that, like I said, they very much so, told me I would be able to study equity and justice and health and all these cool concepts in community. But then once I got there, I realized that the people that were teaching these sort of things weren't necessarily practicing them in the way that they treated others. So, Nadia and I being the black girls on the program, and, now there's more, but, last year it was just us two, had to go through a lot with people not understanding the ways that they, might do something that's like very obviously racist to both of us.
Right.
So we had to deal with a lot of things. There's different standards for us and other students, what we're expected to do, how we're expected to produce. I mean, the amount of work that Nadia and I do both inside and outside of school to kind of like push ourselves to be in the community, but also because it is expected that we don't just, go to school, do the research, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like we have to do everything. We have to be in the community. We have to do that. We have to make the school look good. We're not supposed to say anything. So, we've gone through a lot with this program to the point where I think Nadia did find a program that was able to better help her, like, finish research. And to the point where, there's been a lot of, like, doubt with me thinking about how bad do I want this, because it's a Ph.D. program, it's 6 years, and it's like
the current one, the WashU
WashU program that I'm in, and it's
how many
great.
years have you done it so far?
I'm on my third year.
Wow.
So I'm about halfway through.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just finished my master's because they give you a master's partway through if you do a lot of work. They didn't just give it to me.
Wow.
But
a master's partway through, jeez.
Yeah, which I'm grateful for because once again, it's a very economical way of going about things because you don't have to like pay for school. So I'm blessed to be able to pay for school, but I think sometimes they just put us through so much that we're like, what is the point of this?
Right.
When I could just write, if I could write and do research for the community through my own nonprofit. So I've just been pushing myself to think like, how bad do I want this? And what are the advantages of being in school? Because school's rough.
School's, not only is it, not only is it tough because you have schoolwork, and the schoolwork is challenging, and you have to do this and you have to do that. But then also, it's a business. It's a straight business. So it's just like they're there to make money while also you're there to make money. You're there to make money while you learn, and your learning is giving back. So it's so many different levels, especially at the heights you were in higher education. Goodness, I already know. Like shit. Yeah. Like that's ridiculous. So you're halfway in. To go back real quick though, and I had to ask you this. This is high off the glass. We talk about sports. We talk about basketball. sports. Anyway, where are sports in your life? Did you have any interactions with that?
Okay. I played soccer. I've been playing soccer since middle school. I love soccer. I play like 6 times a week.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. There's a beautiful pickup group that there's like a group chat on Facebook with like 7,000 people in it in the city of St. Louis.
Yeah.
So you can go play soccer basically any day, anytime if you just look around hard enough, and I love that. It makes me happy. I love seeing the new city team.
Wow.
I can't wait to go to the games. Yeah, I'm just waiting till the ticket prices go down a little
You're
bit.
a soccer girl. I can't believe it.
I'm a soccer girl.
Are the prices that bad?
Some of them were like $200 because they won their first 4 games. They crushed it. Crushed it. I'm pretty sure they only let like 1 goal in, and then they lost a couple. And then I started to see some cheaper tickets, and I was like, okay. But yeah, they're a great team. It's our first year with the Major League Soccer team, so I definitely want parts in that. I want to watch and see what's going on. But yeah, that's my main thing.
That's crazy, soccer. I'm glad I asked. Where do you get that soccer love from?
One of the things that my family's confused about too. They're like, we don't know because they have basketball on the TV all the time. Like my grandpa was a Celtics fan, is a Celtics fan. Like, shout out to your grandpa. Yeah, so I grew up seeing like Rajon Rondo on the screen and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
And then like Steelers games, watching all that. I've went to a couple. Love the Steelers. Yeah. It's been a minute since I followed, but sports generally got a very big appreciation for them.
That's what's up. Steelers, y'all bad right now anyway, so you ain't missing nothing.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a couple years before we,
I don't know why y'all knew Big Ben was leaving, but you chose to do nothing with that. I didn't understand. Yeah.
And they've been preparing. They should have prepared for this for a while. He's been in there for a while, so come on, y'all.
Yeah, you think they would have? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, so we go back to school, to your program that you're in, your Ph.D. and say the whole title for it.
It would be a Ph.D. in sociology.
Okay. With it's not an emphasis on anything. Or?
No, I can describe what my research focus is in, but just sociology, keep it short and simple.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. And once you're done with it, and I'll be honest with you, I don't want to see your partner leave.
I don't either.
Yeah,
I don't either. We're losing a fantastic scholar. She's doing some incredible work with sports sociology, and I know she was on here before. So I'm a little upset about that. But I don't want to see her leave. But I really don't want to see you. I'm definitely not going to say give up on it, but I don't want to see you go somewhere else and finish it somewhere else. I would like it to be finished here. I know you're getting a lot of roadblocks thrown at you. Whenever you would like to come on here and talk about it and expose it, we can. You know what I'm saying? But come on now, good to know.
Yeah, definitely, sister, because you have an ally. Because this is
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're more than welcome, because that's bullshit. Because once it's completed, what will it do and what will it show?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I've been kind of wrestling with myself. So I have goals of, making my own research-based nonprofit where we talk about race and what that means in the pipeline of us engineering these devices and stuff like that. I have dreams of really connecting holistic health, things like cannabis and acupuncture, Chinese medicine, all these sorts of different methods together with Western medicine so that people can just get the care that they need. So I have dreams of really creating this phenomenal research center, also having a weed research lab. Ooh. And a PhD would definitely give me plenty of opportunities to do things like that, but a master's as well, which I just completed, is kind of opening up a lot of doors to do a lot of that work. So I'm kind of a PhD would give me clout for sure. I think that's the biggest thing at this point.
It would open more doors for you.
Yes. But it just depends on what the doors, what doors I want open. So I'm trying to think more about quality over quantity.
Right. Yeah. Right. Now go back to what you just said. Now that's amazing. You want to open up you want to have a cannabis lab.
Yeah.
And what else with that?
And then I want a research facility that is dedicated to teaching people about how you make biomedical devices and then teaching people about race in that process. So, when you're thinking about who is the person I'm designing for, well, does the skin color matter? Because for certain devices, they detect light. So skin color does matter. Does the hair color matter? Or the hair texture? Because certain devices fit on your scalp to measure your brain activity, and they don't work on thick hair. And I have a friend who's literally making a device that helps it so that they can measure our brain things well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So your lab would make products that are easy to use for people of color. And so their medical issues can be detected sooner and easier.
Yeah, I think that's the goal, and to just highlight the work that other people are already doing and combine that and be a hub for that. Like, I also don't want to, reinvent the wheel because, like I said, there's a few people doing that great work. But, yeah, anything to help just promote that and teach it to the public, because we have the right to know all of these sort of things about our health and technology and how things work, and, really bringing it down to the people and not expecting the people to have to do their own background research about what's happening at Johnson and Johnson. So
okay, all right? Yeah, you open that door. Let's go through it. What's happening at JJ? What is that about?
I mean, that was just it's I think probably the largest, if not one of the top 3 largest pharmaceutical and biomedical companies in the country. And with that, people just assume because you're making things for healthcare that you're making things well, and you want to help people, but it's a business. They want to make money. So they had an issue with the baby powder. I don't know if you heard about that.
Did. Yep.
Yeah.
Was it the talcum in it?
Yes, that was causing cancer, but they marketed it aggressively to Black women.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Yeah. So when I ask you, when you make your products, how you think about race, everything, the consumers, who you're designing for, who's in the lab, how they think about stuff, I really just want to get into that. And I got to do my master's thesis basically asking 50 bioengineers a bunch of questions about race and how they designed. So, I'm in the process of doing consulting and opening up the opportunity for clients. So if a company wants to come and say, we make this product, we make that product, how do we make it in a way that is equitable to people? I want to come in and say, this is how you can do it. And I think people need a lot more expertise than they think on these sort of topics. So when I say Johnson & Johnson, I'm saying Johnson & Johnson, you need some help. And I'm also thinking about Johnson & Johnson in the future and these large companies as places that will likely be very, they'll be very hands-on in medical marijuana once that stuff goes legally nationally.
Right.
So, some Johnson & Johnson weed is not going to be as good as what you're getting at your plug down the street if your plug is growing out their home.
Yep, it just won't be.
It just won't.
It just won't.
So, that's what I mean. Yeah.
That is freaking dope. Now, when you ask these bioengineers these 50 questions about how do you look at race when you design your medical devices or whatever the case may be, what do they say?
Okay, so I got 3 different responses, and I call them lab coat cultures. So the first culture is the typical one where they're like, race doesn't have anything to do with my work.
Yeah.
They, it might be like racism's bad or whatever, but race has nothing to do with what we do. We're scientists. We focus on science.
Right.
And they don't see the connection. They don't understand that if you are, getting all your research samples from Black people because they provide cheap research samples that you do have race in your project. Right. So a lot of them, that was the main thing. They were saying race has nothing to do with my project. And then race always had something to do. In every single interview, I ended up finding at least one aspect of their project that had something to do with race. Wow. And it's because race is literally it's such a big system, and it's so important, and people don't learn about it in school.
Right.
They don't teach that in middle school and high school, and now they're trying to take even out slavery. So it's I'm developing different educational curriculums for high schoolers and for middle schoolers and have things out to try to teach them these sort of things, but we're fighting politically to even talk about the basics.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
I know some people I know some people that work high up in SLPS, you need to talk to. And
Yeah,
some of
I'd
those
love
public
to.
schools could use that.
Absolutely.
A lot of school departments could use that, and I think they do a decent job. But every school department could do more. That's how I look at it. Okay, so what is your love like? This is a big thing right now. I mean, it's a big thing right now, but it's this is another reason why I started this show, and it's one of my favorite things in the world. Why do you have such a love for the plant, and where did that come from?
I've always been chill with weed. Like as a kid, I had people in my family who would smoke and consume around me, and I never noticed any sort of like negative behavior associated from it. Like they was just chilling. So growing up, I already recognized it as like a substance that people just took regularly, and it was chill. So I didn't feel the same stigma that a lot of people feel when they're like, oh, like it's bad. And then I got to college. I had a few friends, gave me a few edibles, all those stories about your legs being numb the next day. And I don't know, I had some pretty interesting edible stories. But
Parts share what?
Okay, so
Give me one.
One friend had a gravity bong and, was giving me the same serving that she was giving herself, and she was partaking every day, and I had weed maybe once or twice in my life because I only tried it like once in high school. It just wasn't really around me.
Okay.
Well, it was, but it wasn't really that. It was just there.
Yeah, you didn't trip off it.
Yeah.
Man.
But in college, I was like, like this is fun, cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I hit the bong, which was literally a water bottle just like this, a bolt, because engineers like to make their own little rigs, be cheap. That she'd cut the bottom. Yeah, and it's like, look, engineering is just. Black people, we always be engineering, bro. We always be engineering.
We do, constantly. Yeah, that's what we do.
Because, that's what we do. We do good.
I think that's the thing. That's like a human trait. Like, who came up with who thought to put an apple? You know what? You got anything? We don't, all right, see that? Give me that apple. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody came up with that. So, yeah, it's always, black folks especially. But, yeah, humans, we don't give ourselves enough props.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? For
Facts.
real.
We think one person invented something and that's how things go, when really it's like every day, each of us have like a designer in us, an innovator in us.
Right. Great comment. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
keep going.
Okay, so then getting back to this edible story, I'm doing a decent job at staying focused today.
Right, there you go. It's because we didn't smoke.
You didn't smoke.
Oh yeah.
I showed up prepared.
Oh no, I smoked. I blew on the way down there.
Okay,
I had to.
so we both were prepared, but
Yes,
we're not actively getting higher, so we're going. But after, I got you some goods.
Right on. Yay, me too.
Nice.
Yeah, it is.
But took this gravity bong.
Yeah.
Was trash for like a whole day and a half. Thankfully, did it on Friday, so Sunday evening, I'm finally like getting chill back down, coming down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got so much homework because all we did was worry about homework in college because me and my friends were nerds like that.
Yep.
And then, the next day I wake up for school, start studying and stuff. I'm like, oh, I feel a little funny. I get to class, sitting there in class. I'm like, I'm fried. I'm still fried.
This is
like
from the day before you hit the gravity ball.
This is the day after I hit the gravity ball.
Yeah.
So I thought I was sober the night before. Well, this is actually 3 days after because I was already high for a day and a half.
3 days after.
Yes. Then wake up the next day, somehow high again. Next day, I'm good. Next day, I go and I play soccer because I do that casually. I start getting high on the field. I realize THC is stored in your fat cells. So if you have enough in there and you've never smoked, me burning that fat was literally making me high again.
Oh.
Yeah, because I had a super low tolerance and she just giving me a crap ton of weed. So it was like all week I was just dealing with weird stuff. Legs were going numb and I was like, it was just cracking me up, to be honest. Like I wasn't scared. I was like, I'm going to be fine. But it was comical. It was comical. Like my friends were like, are you sure? We don't believe you. I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm not making this up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of ill. But that's ill, but it's also science because that's legit how this shit works. You know what I'm saying? And THC is stored in our bodies and burned in our bodies. I think similar ways. But just let off. Everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? So you never know. But damn, that's fucking crazy. So you just had you had like a internal, like, okay, you had peace with that plant, so that's why you always felt always close to it.
Yeah. And then once the pandemic hit is really when I started smoking. Because I had a lot of anxiety because, school stressing my little self out half time for no reason, but you know how that works. And I was just like, oh, I smoke this and I'm chill. And then it got to a point where I was like, I could just do this for in the morning and then study in the afternoon and I'll be fine. Like, my anxiety will be fine. So I got really comfortable smoking during the pandemic. It was my senior year. I was alone. Like, my roommates had all gone back home to like live with their families. I still was in the house. So I just really fell in love with the plant there. And once I realized it was medicine to me and for me, I started using it regularly to the point where I was like, I feel my anxiety decreasing. Like, and now I don't even have to like necessarily use a lot because I've learned all these sorts of different techniques and stuff. Just because by being high, I was able to be self-aware. I was able to be chill. I was able to be open. And it just made it so much easier to where I'm like, I can access that now sober. And yeah, I love the plant.
And I 100%, man, girl, straight up. You know what I'm saying? we got to do that for real. All day, every day. You know what I'm saying? But, and I know exactly what you're talking about, but for the novice out there, for the folks that don't smoke and they understand why we smoke and, and don't get it, what type of, give an example of a technique that you've learned from consumption that's helped you.
Okay. I think, for example, I get home from school. Somebody's been messing with me all day. Like, I raise my hand in class, they ignore me, then I say something, the professor doesn't get it, they don't get everything I say, the white girl next to me repeats everything I say, and all of a sudden they get it.
Right.
Ultimate frustration. I have doubts about myself. What if I'm saying things that make sense? Like, I'm panicking. I don't know if I can do it. I literally go home, pack a cone. I take one inhale, and all of a sudden, I feel my lungs open up and I can breathe. And I realize when I was anxious, I wasn't breathing.
Right.
Taking deep breaths. That's like one of the biggest things I feel like smoking has even just taught me is just...
Right.
And your heart rate slows down, you're chilling, your thoughts aren't racing, you can collect them, and you can think so much more clearly about the situation.
Right.
Like, we don't even think about often when we talk and when we move, like throughout the day, when we get anxious and tight, we stop breathing.
Yeah.
And what that does to our bodies. But like,
it affects our brains in so many different ways. We're not giving our brain the proper oxygen that it needs. So we're not making proper decisions.
Right.
And we're not smarter, we're dumber. Yeah, like that. I'm a huge victim of that, and yeah, I get it. Wow. Okay. So man, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So to bring it back to the main thing, your end goal is basically is what I think you mentioned it earlier, but I guess it basically is to have that lab where you can create your biomedical engineering and have a huge focus on cannabis.
Yeah. Basically, my goal is to have a weed lab. I have a lot of goals, to be honest, but my major goals are to have a weed lab and to bring people education about, science, technology, math, health, and all of these things in a way that like betters them and betters their health. So not just teaching Black kids STEM, but teaching them STEM in a way that helps them live longer and healthier and better and more fulfilling.
Right.
And however we got to do it, whether we got to innovate and build and figure out stuff, whether we got to teach, whether we got to research, like, I'm down for it.
Right.
So
okay,
that's the goal. That's the career goal.
That's what's up. I'm 100%. I am with it, and I support that. Tell me about this awesome podcast you do with formerly mentioned Miss Fitch.
So yeah, Nadia, she was on one of the episodes. But I regularly co-host with my friend Justin.
Oh, okay. You started with Justin. I thought you started with. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. No,
Right.
it's all good. The episode with Nadia was so good. You know, we're so tight, so it probably sounded like we just talking like we normally talk because
doubt.
that's our riffing. You know, that's my girl. That's where you met both of us together.
Exactly.
The Joint Hypothesis is a podcast by two black scientist stoners, and we're just exploring our ancestors' favorite plant. That's what we tell people.
Okay. All right.
And we have different topics each week when our seasons are out. So season 2 right now is politics of the marginalized themed. So we got people coming on talking about all sorts of deep stuff and, you know, how they've been left out of cannabis.
Wow. Yes.
So we had people talk about consumption lounges. We had people talk about sports and, you know, the racism in sports and what does it mean if you consume cannabis in sports versus consuming other drugs.
Right.
And we talked about people being marginalized when it comes to black and indigenous people working in dispensaries. And somebody came on and talked about their experiences being, you know, kicked out of multiple dispensaries as a worker because they stood up for their patients.
Wow.
So we really just,
Man, that show. Yeah.
we wouldn't get into the nitty gritty.
Spell the name of it. Spell the name of it.
So it's Joint, Joint, and then it's hypothesis, but the high part is HIGH because we be getting high.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And then hypothesis. This. You know what I'm saying?
The cis.
There it is. The cis. Not this. The cis. Joint Hypothesis. The show is dope. You do with your boy Justin. I like it. I'm going to be probably an avid listener. Where can people find the show?
On all platforms. We are on Apple. We're on Spotify. We have a few videos on YouTube of like actual of us recording the episodes. Google Podcasts, even the smaller ones, but we're out anywhere and everywhere at this point.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I actually found y'all. I use this app called Castbox, and I found y'all on there.
See?
Yeah.
We just added to Castbox. I can't even keep up.
Yeah.
I don't know what people use, so that's good to know.
Who do you go through to put it out? Do you use Anchor or what do you use?
We use SoundCloud.
There you go. Yep, that's another. Yeah, that's basically another version of Anchor. All right, that's what's up. What was my other question? How long do you see yourself, you know, doing this? You know, such as, you know, the podcast, I guess the degree you're in right now. It's only another 3 years, but but you could jump on another program after this. How long do you see yourself in this lane that you currently are on right now?
Forever. I don't see myself leaving the lane. I just see myself expanding. So, you know, like I said, I started with science and tech and then in health. And then I expanded to be wellness. I did some work on a farm. Then I expanded to include cannabis, and now I'm thinking about that. And I expanded to do sociology, so now I'm thinking about doing theory papers.
Right.
And then it's expanded to writing, and now I'm thinking about writing a book, or maybe I've started writing a book.
Oh,
so,
there it is.
You know, look for projects soon.
There it is. Oh, go ahead, sister.
Wow,
you are on it. Miss Rene, go ahead, girl. You know what I'm saying? And you want to, what it is, you speak it into existence and you do little baby steps. You know what I'm saying? Because I totally could see you writing a book and I would definitely buy it. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Look, we'll be in touch in the future because I definitely want to, you know, have y'all get engaged and have y'all on the podcast. We do each season based off different themes, so we got to figure out what season y'all gonna be on. Maybe it's like a season about movement or health or science.
Who
or
you
sports.
talking about,
y'all? I'm talking about you.
First off, you need fuck a season. You need to have me on next week because I can fit right into that topic you talking about right now for April's or this season's topic. I can fit into that.
Okay.
Whatever next season's topic is, I can fit into that.
Okay.
Whatever the season after that topic is, I can fit it.
Okay.
If you start talking about life on Jupiter and Mars, I can fit into that topic. Trust.
Okay.
This is the great,
trust
babe.
you.
I am
trust
universal.
You.
Come on now.
Trust you.
Yeah. So I was going. Yeah, I was trying not to go crazy with it. Yeah, but you better 100% have me on that shit. Like, come on.
So
I'm
the
here
thing
for
is,
it.
the thing is,
I'm here for it.
Justin lives in North Carolina.
Okay.
So he comes the whole way up from Raleigh once every couple months, and then we tape everything in one batch.
Oh.
And he does all the tech. He sets everything up. He does a lot of that stuff. And I organize often, like, what questions we're going to ask the guests and how the seasons are going to fit into each other and how we're going to order the episodes and stuff like that.
Wow.
So, if we do have you on soon, I will let you know. But we're thinking like Memorial Day is going to be our next taping. Okay. But we actually put a form out for people so they can come on and talk talk about what they're interested in. And we have like the subjects that we're talking about. So you could fill that out. I really want everybody to fill it out, guys. Please fill the form out.
Where can they find the form?
You can find the form at our link tree. So if you find our Joint Hypothesis website, our Facebook page, our Insta, our Twitter, we're even on TikTok. And I don't do TikTok, but we got a little intern. She's not little. She's grown. She's 18 years old.
I got an intern. That's dope.
Yeah, we love her.
Wow.
But yeah, Bailey helps with all that. So you can find us on all there. But if you fill out the form, it'll be great because then we can figure out what questions that we can ask you and what we want to solve, because we're going to be doing some experiments with our next season's guests. Oh. So if you want to come on, you can come on, but we're going to do a little experiment with you.
Oh, bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I want to come on next season, and I want to come on this season. Okay. And if all of you that are listening, make sure you guys go to Joint Hypothesis on all the major stuff. You said you on LinkedIn too?
Not yet. Well, actually, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn at Rene Canady, and you can find, me talking about the podcast there. So, yeah, we on LinkedIn.
There you go. Renee, give them your socials where they can find you.
Okay, so you can find us at Joint Hypothesis. I'll spell it again. JOINTHIGH, like get high, POT, pot, THE, the SIS, sis. Wow. Joint Hypothesis. There it is. And then you can also find my personal page where I talk a lot about the education work and the consulting work and my research at Oh Hey It's J Renee. So that's OAO or ooh.
Take your time with it.
Yeah, I know. I told you I had a lot of weed and it's now catching up to me.
Yeah, no doubt.
But OHHEY, like oh hey with two Y's, and then ITSJRENE. J Renee. That's it. And it'll be in the show notes to make it a little easier for y'all, because I know this spelling got me exhausted. So.
Right. It will be in the show notes. I'm going to have her text it to me so I can type it in. Yep. I had her text me her bio because Sister does so much stuff. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yo, Miss Rene Canady?
Yes.
I said it right. There it is. This was really good.
This was good.
You,
Thank you.
I appreciate you for coming through. Yeah, for real. This was dope. This was dope, sister. I'm so glad you came through. Yo, for my audience, for everybody listening, for My City, My Music, for myself, the Great, I just want to say for everybody, thank you for coming on. And those of you, thank you for listening. Thank you for checking out High Off the Glass this week. I told you, we have amazing guests, you know what I'm saying? And major shout out to them Celtics. How y'all like that game one ass kicking we gave to the Hawks? You know what I'm saying? We're going to jump in next week seriously with some basketball, because, it's the playoffs. We going super in. But also, too, go to my page, the Great, OTHA Great. What is it? I have a play-in tournament we did a play-in tournament episode, also NBA playoff preview, so check that out, you know what I'm saying, because I'm not going to not talk about the greatest sport in the world. Check that out. And we still got the merch is on deck. We got shirts. You need a tray, you need a grinder, you need all that stuff. I got it. High Off the Glass. Hit me up on the sites. OTHA Great, High Off the Glass, THA Glass, Facebook, Twitter, IG, all that. Holla at me, y'all. You know how it is. Yo, Miss Renee, this was dope. Thank you.
Thank you.
For real. And shout out to your Tuskegee Airman jacket. That's hard as hell. Where the hell did you get that?
My grandpa. He ain't do nothing. He served. What? Respect to my grandpa. Okay. They just be giving him stuff for real.
Was he in the Airman?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said that he didn't do nothing.
Okay.
They just be giving him cool stuff, man.
Wow, that's definitely cool. That mug look hard as hell.
Thank you. Thank you. He's a cool guy.
I need that mug. Yo, y'all be safe. What is it? Damn, I'm sorry, face bitch. Y'all missed me do that sick ass outro, huh? But oh well, I got a dip. It's time for Miss Renee and I to get higher. All right, y'all. Keep smoking, keep hooping. Keep doing it and keep your head above water. We out. Peace.
I'm loving this outro.